Friends, it's happening. Gold has been on an unstoppable run. It has gone up more than 81% in the last 5 years and almost 20% in the last 12 months. Central banks are ditching the dollar and US treasuries and buying more gold. The good news, it's predicted to go up more. Some experts even say it will go up to $5,000. Noble Gold Investments' phone has been ringing nonstop. Everyone wants to protect their retirement with gold, and you can do the same. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced investor, Noble Gold Investments will make sure you get all the help you need, and from day one, you work with the same dedicated all-American expert. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin if you open a qualified account. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Inspired live stream. It is Thursday, June 20th, 2024. We remain healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. That is the mantra of the Inspired live stream. Thank you for joining us on YouTube, on Rumble, and on X, of course, especially in the live chat. I got to tell you, Christine is not here today. Forgive us. She had to be someplace else today, but so good to see you all. I see Sharon is in here. I see Mama Mel is in here. Christopher is in here. Raymond, good to see you. Dagda is here. Jose maybe is here. Jay Fraj. I think I saw Stuart. Wasn't quite sure. So good to see you all. Anna is here from Sweden. Hey, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, Erica is here. Stormy, enjoying nature. Okay, my friends. So we showed a few clips here of the in the intro of these AI, not just facial recognition cameras, but AI emotion reading cameras. And I have to give a full disclaimer. Some people are more familiar with these technologies than others. The way that I see it is what we're learning now about these technologies is reverse engineering our consciousness about them. So what I mean by that is that all my studies, all my research shows me that we have had these technologies around and deployed many, many, many moons ago. And I remember about 15 years ago, we were advised that most of us already carry internal technology that we are not aware of. So when we look at these things, it doesn't mean, and there you go, there goes the hat, my friends. There goes the time to be free hat. When we're looking at these technologies, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this is something incredibly new. It just means they're now being officially deployed and they're looking at how the public reacts. And there was a test over the last years in the UK train stations, where they deployed AI emotion recognizing, detecting cameras. And I'm sure that the whole experiment was much, much greater than what was being reported. But let's look at what was being reported about this in the last few days. So here we go. AI cameras used to detect train passengers' emotions without them knowing. Even Jagger, our dog, is not happy about this. So let's look at this. Passengers on trains across the UK had their emotions recorded by AI cameras without their knowledge, it has been revealed. The images were sent for analysis by Amazon recognition software, which can detect emotions such as whether someone is happy, sad, or hungry. Network Rail took photographs of people passing through ticket barriers as part of a trial launched in 2022, according to documents obtained by civil liberties group Big Brother Watch. I think what is important for us is to not get cynical. I mean, we need to take this very seriously. This is crazy in and of itself. Think about it, that public transportation partners with supposedly a private company, Amazon, and they are taking data from you. They're using not just facial recognition software, but AI emotion reading and predictive software. Now, this is all going through the Amazon servers, so they're using all that data. What are they cross-referencing it with? Would you think they're cross-referencing it with their own database about you as an Amazon customer? I would think so. And then they're analyzing it and sending it back to public transportation. All of this without your knowledge, without your consent. This, of course, is happening to the best of our knowledge now in most public places. Excuse me, friends, we're not talking about China. We're talking about a supposedly free Western-style democracy. Okay, let's move forward here. The system piloted at stations such as London, Euston, Glasgow, Leeds, and Reading also recorded demographic details such as passengers' gender and age range. In the documents obtained in response to a Freedom of Information request, Network Rail said this analysis could be used to measure satisfaction and maximize advertising and retail revenue. The cameras were part of a wider trial to use AI to tackle issues such as trespassing, overcrowding, bicycle theft, and slippery floors. Of course, that's exactly what they used it for, nothing else. Jake Herford, head of research and investigations at Big Brother Watch, said, "It is alarming that as a public body, it decided to roll out large-scale trial of Amazon-made AI surveillance in several stations with no public awareness, especially when Network Rail mixed safety tech in with pseudoscientific tools and suggested the data could be given to advertisers. AI-powered surveillance could put all our privacy at risk." Really? Wow. Especially if misused, and Network Rail's disregard of those concerns shows a contempt for our rights. A Network Rail spokesperson said, "We take the security of the rail network extremely seriously and use a range of advanced technologies across our stations to protect passengers, our colleagues, and the railway infrastructure from crime and other threats. When we deploy technology, we work with the police and security services to ensure that we're taking proportionate action, and we always comply with the relevant legislation regarding the use of surveillance technologies." Now, the Times reported that the AI trial continues, but the part analyzing emotions and demographics has ended. It's a load of bullshit what these people are saying, and you all know it. First of all, what does it mean that the AI rail, the rail network, the public transportation system, is constantly communicating and collaborating with police services? So are they saying that they're constantly sending your photos and your emotional state to those police stations? And how would they use the data that they gather? Let's just say, I mean, this has been running for a few years. Here's what they're definitely doing. I can tell you, because honestly, if I were solely interested in furthering my interests at a railway station, if I had no concerns for privacy, if I had no concerns for human beings, here's what I would do. I would create a database for each passenger. Naturally, they can identify you. Most people that travel with the train regularly have some sort of season ticket or pass or whatever. So they can get they can get exact data on you. Then I would look at what is your average state of emotion, right? Are you on average depressed or sad? And then I would create profiles that classify you. Then I would create a threat assessment as to, are you a danger to being violent? Are you a danger maybe of becoming disruptive? Are you a polluter? Whatever. And this is exactly what they're doing, by the way. Every piece of data that they're collecting about you, they're using to create profiles, and they have been using. There are supercomputers all over the. When I say supercomputers, I mean the computational power that you and I cannot even imagine. They are literally recording every keystroke. It's not just that some camera in a train station is measuring you. And by the way, these cameras are not just capable of measuring emotions, they're capable of measuring heartbeat. They're even capable of your heartbeat, basically, is like a fingerprint. It is as unique as a fingerprint or an iris scan. And these cameras have the capability to literally read your heartbeat and hence give a clear identifying factor to your profile, which is your heartbeat. The technologies are so far advanced, and we're currently in an investigation. This is going to take a while before we conclude it, and before we come out and we're going to put a show together that's going to blow your mind on the kinds of technologies that have already been deployed, that are in our bodies, that are communicating what our bodies have already been turned into and what they're being turned into, but also how we can shield ourselves, protect ourselves, and cleanse ourselves. So we're working on all of that. But here's the thing. This story is now out, and it is my sincere belief that for those of you, this is a story that broke in the UK. For those of you watching from the UK, you should at least make sure that everybody involved in this project should get fired immediately. There should be such a shit show and a pushback on this, because every time that these stories break and the public is like, whatever, they go further and further and further, and they push further and further and further. And listen, the idea is, because this is literally what we've been talking about with 15-minute cities, with fully digitized surveillance cities. It's not that you just check in everywhere you go in a 15-minute city. You are being read every minute of every day. Your biochemistry, your emotions, everything is being read. And so what will happen in a 15-minute city using all this data, what they're already doing behind the scenes, but this is how it will play out. They will say, so let's just say you want to go to a bar or a club on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m. in a 15-minute city in a few years. The AI will read all your available data and will say, no, this is not a good time for you to be there. You're in an agitated state. Alcohol could increase that, so they won't allow you to enter, right? You want to get a burger, a greasy one, because that's what you crave. The AI will read your body chemistry, will read the state that you're saying, no, you've already had your quota of meat, beef, whatever. No, it's not going to happen. You're not getting it. If you think this is crazy, this is exactly the kind of technologies that they, of course, already have. What they're doing is slowly but surely getting the public adjusted to those technologies being deployed. And listen, a certain section of the population would say, this is amazing. I already knew I shouldn't have that burger, but hey, now I don't have to restrict myself. I don't have to discipline myself. AI is doing it for me. It's so amazing. It helps me lose weight. It helps me drink less. I don't waste as much gas. I don't have as big a carbon footprint. Do you see? This is exactly what all this technology is aimed to do, it's a full-on control system. We have still enough purity left. We have still enough consciousness left. We're still connected enough to understand this and to combat this on all levels. I cannot fathom the world that especially our children and grandchildren will live in a short period of time, because I will not be a part of it. I will absolutely not be a part of it. I'll leave civilization. I don't care. I won't be a part of it. This is pure insanity. I don't go places that force me to use cashless payment systems. I don't participate in it. I don't care if I can't do something or can't eat someplace. I don't give a shit. I don't do it. But these types of scenarios are now popping up everywhere. We used to get appalled. We used to get all, bent out of shape when we saw this coming from China, when we saw these surveillance methods that we were very well informed about in school. Remember, they talked to us about how the Stasi worked in Eastern Germany. They talked to us about how the communist countries have their secret police that is spying on the citizens spying on each other, reporting on each other, snitching on each other. They won't need anyone snitching. In the next shit show like 2020, in the next, whatever they deploy, they will then use, because the people have become accustomed to it, these technologies, and it won't be, oh, you were supposed to stay at home and you're out there. No, it will be like everything will be not just recorded, but immediately you will suffer the consequence. They will see you out and about, and it will be, this is the dystopian 1984 George Orwell kind of nightmare, and we're in it. And this is sort of what's most it is pissing me off. I don't even want to beat around the bush. What is pissing me off is that so many people still try to convince me that I'm a fearmonger, that I'm putting out the negative vibes. Well, listen, peeps, I'm not the one putting up the fucking cameras. I'm not the one reading people's emotions. I'm not the one interested in reading your biochemistry, analyzing it, and using it for my agenda. I am not the one who's trying to turn humans into cyborgs without their consent or knowledge. I'm not infusing biology with AI everywhere I can through all means possible, the air, the water, the food, medicals, and whatnot. I'm not doing that. I'm just reporting on it. And I'm just telling you, if you sleep through this, well, that's on you. I'm talking to those who constantly, I don't even know why they're here. I don't even know why you're here. You know how we roll by now. You know that we're going after the truth no matter what. And if you want to live in a half lie or a full lie, well, there is a good way for you to avoid this kind of unpleasant information. Don't watch. I have no problem with that. But don't come with the airy-fairy unicorny kind of comments here. This is a reality. This is a reality. Literally, you are being surveilled 24/7. There is no court order. You're not even being informed about it. It is going through private companies that are passing on your data to every freaking three-letter agency in the book, because that's who financed them. That's who started them. That's who got them there. What is In-Q-Tel? Encourage you, if you haven't looked it up yet. What is In-Q-Tel? What is it involved in? What are the Five Eyes nations? There are more surveillance and data gathering programs than if I would sit here and just the ones that I can think of from the top of my head, I would sit here till tonight and I still wouldn't be finished. So how many agencies, how many computer systems are dedicated to this and this alone? And what is it all about? It's about complete and utter hacking and biohacking. And if there's any mystery left about humans, it is about to be revealed and it's not exposed, but taken advantage of. So people act as if all of this is inevitable. as if it is inevitable that if we want to use a train, well, we'll just have to deal with the intrusion. It's like that article that the WEF member wrote in 2016. I forget her name. She was from one of the, I don't know, Estonia, Latvia, I forget, but somewhere. And she wrote this famous article, "You will own nothing and you'll be happy," which is not just a slogan, it's an entire philosophy of how there will be no ownership in 2030, right? The idea that you won't be able to own anything, but you can use whatever you want to, right? There will be shared rides, like there's the scooters in the cities now where you just hop on a scooter and you use it and then you just drop it off wherever. All of it will be like that. You will just live in a space that you don't own. You will use a fully automated car that you don't own. You will own nothing, because ownership in a Marxist, in a crazy utopian system is not a thing. And you will be able to go within your 15, 20-minute radius everywhere, and you'll just enjoy, you'll work, you'll play, you'll have fun. Yes, sure, there's no more privacy. And this is what they're saying. This is what the WEF has been saying. There will be no privacy. Somewhere, all your dreams, your worries, all your doubts, all your hopes and fears are recorded. And you just pray that in all the comfort that you're enjoying, they will never use it against you. I believe the movie Minority Report came out in 2002, 2003. So it's been over 20 years. Remember, Tom Cruise was starring in that movie. And that movie was all about how law enforcement used technology to predict crimes and to prevent the crimes from happening and charge people and lock them up by charging them with a crime they were going to commit. Well, I would have been locked up. Trust me. Trust me. I would have been locked up a bunch of times, because when I hear about a soccer coach in our area here that was arrested, I believe last year, that over freaking 15, 20 years, a pillar of the community, no less, has lured tens or hundreds of children into his home, drugged them, and abused them, and filmed himself doing it. What do you think I was thinking while I was learning about that story? Oh, you betcha. That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, so that this is where all of this is going. Of course, it's already here, but see, it's not being deployed yet on a full scale, because you don't want to rock the boat too much. You don't get people startled too much. You first need to give them enough AI that they can love, that solves their problems, makes them more money, makes life easier for them, allows them to think even less, as if that was possible. Allows people to think even less. Let's just have AI take care of you. Apple is now basically deploying their version of ChatGPT or Copilot. It will be on every application on your iPhone. It will be running your iPhone, and it will be doing all those pesky little tasks for you, and it will suggest things for you, and it will change things for you. It will constantly monitor, like it already does, right? Your retina movements, your, excuse me, this is upsetting. It will constantly monitor all of it, and it will be like if you want to use your iPhone, it'll be like a forced AI assistant. But what is really happening here? It's an official, an open takeover of AI. It's not hidden any longer. It's not in the background somewhere. We have passed the threshold. It's the old story. First, you need to deny that you're doing it. But when it becomes too big, when it becomes too obvious, you have to start selling it to the people. So now they're selling it. They're giving you free access to ChatGPT, to Grok, to everything. And they're showing you how you can make your life so incredibly easy, how you can make money on autopilot, how it imitates you, how all you have to do is give the AI a sample of your voice, a sample of your likeness, and it can create 1 million videos of you saying whatever you want it to say. You don't even have to record them. It will then automatically post them to social media for you, and it will generate income for you, while you can be served on by a robot in your home and have meaningful emotional interactions with your AI spouse. Don't worry about childcare. AI can take care of it. I'm sorry, but what is this is a utopia for many people that believe this is how the world should be. It's amazing. It's awesome. We should stop fighting technology. It is the savior. And I'm on the, we've been here before. We have been here before. Let me ask you this. Atlantis, Lemuria, Tartaria, and all the other empires that have existed, where are they? Where are the people, and where are the astonishing findings and developments? Where is the culture? It is lost. Why? Because in every empire, if you study it long and dedicated enough, the same pattern emerges. The path of technocracy is the path of destruction. If you believe at all that there is such a thing as communication beyond the time-space barrier, that future generations have been communicating with us or have even been traveling back in time, if you can wrap your mind around the communication that we've had, the one singular thing that they all share is that they regret having given up their humanity or their naturalness, and that they regret having given over everything to technology. Atlantis was on self-destruction mode because of the worship of the technologically enhanced mind. No more balance, no more spirit, no more intuition. The worship of the technologically advanced mind. Over and over and over and over, historically, this is what has happened. And it can only happen again to us because we're so dumb and uneducated, because everything has been taken from us, because all our history, all our true capabilities are hidden from us. This is why I'm passionate till the day that I leave here to simply say, discover who you really are. Yes, if you want to give yourself over to technology, at least first discover who you really are. And if you do, would you still need it? And people have gotten so afraid of a little discomfort, of a little bit of patience or waiting. Nothing can take longer than a few seconds anymore. If it's not here instantaneously, I don't want it. Nobody's willing to put in years. Not nobody, but very few people are willing to put in years, even decades, into something. It all needs to happen now. But that is not the way. That's not the path. We learn by taking steps, by learning from those steps, by adjusting those steps. We absorb our experience. We get to know ourselves. Like my dear friend Greg Braden is saying, our journey is over if we give in now, and we have all but given in. It's not a done deal yet. But something needs to happen that will wake people up. You know, I'm looking at all these angles, and I often think, man, you know, maybe those stories about the big solar event are true. Maybe a huge EMP will come. Well, So be it. Maybe it wouldn't hurt. Maybe it really wouldn't hurt. I'm not surprised at these psychopaths, empathy deleted people, to deploy all these technologies. On the top level, they're just evil and empathy deleted. That's just who they are. On the lower levels, they are programmed to do anything and everything to further their careers, to make money, to please their superiors and their shareholders. So if this can make them more money, if AI emotion detecting cameras can make them more money, if they can solve a problem for them, then they'll do it. They'll do anything. This is the greatest sickness that we have to heal, is that we are, and I mean collectively as a society, collectively, we're somehow incapable of saying, okay, yes, we can do it. We have the capability to do it, but it's not right to do it, so we won't do it. Every freaking technology, as intrusive, invasive, and disruptive and ultimately destructive as it might be, it's still being used because we can. This is why we're not ready yet for any type of free energy or all the kinds of incredible milestones, if you will, because we have no moral boundaries as a collective speaking. You and I have them. You and I won't do what we know to be wrong, but they will. They would never do that. Strike that from your vocabulary. They would, and they are, and they have been always. They had no hesitation to begin with. See, this is where we're so wrong. We just assume that the majority of people, or the average, or the people in charge are somewhat like us. No, they're not like us, and they don't like us. And so they have no hesitation. If you think there's an ethics period through which they go before they deploy technologies, no, they don't care. They're going to just see how fast can we go and how can we hide it from the people as long as possible so we don't get their backlash, their stupid human emotions, their whining. That's how they think. That's how they operate. If you ever sit with some of these psychopaths in a room, which I had the questionable pleasure of having been in rooms with such people, they're cold, they're mechanical. There is no human emotion. There's no consequence. There's no conscience. None of it. How fast can we use it? And how can we shut the people up who talk against it? That's how they operate. So why are we sitting here? Why are we talking about it? Because awareness creates thinking. Thinking allows us to explore new perspectives, and that allows us to look at things differently. If we don't know about things, we don't think about things, they're just on autopilot. They're just becoming our reality. And this is how it's been. I am amazed at the last 100 years, at least the last 30 to 50 years, where technological development has seen almost zero slowdown on the account of the opposition of the people. Now, when I talk to people, and I want to say especially 45 and up, those of us who've been around in a time where there wasn't such access to advanced technology, right? It wasn't there. Nobody thinks it's a good idea. Nobody thinks it's wonderful. Nobody thinks that this is the best thing ever. And yet, it just keeps rolling out. It just keeps rolling out faster and faster and faster. And when we are in the next, I can't give you exact time frame. We're working on it. But when we're rolling out, this probably will be a few more multiple parts series on what exactly has been deployed, how it's communicating with our bodies, how it's using our bodies against us. Then these AI emotion reading cameras will seem like child's play from the 1950s to us. So that's what we're working on, friends. Here's the thing. the one thing that continually gives me strength and lets me know that we truly can do this is the infinite, incredible power and creativity and love of the human spirit that is connected to the all that is creator. There's nothing in the entire universe that can combat that. And that's what they know, by the way. That's why they need to hide it from us. That's why they need to disconnect us from it. That's why they need to sever us from it. That's why they use all these things. So we never discover it, because once we discover it, it is game over. It's game over. Because nothing is stronger than that. It is everything. And in that discovery and in that embodiment, we do become free in an instant. And then that freedom begins slowly but surely to manifest in our lives, in our decisions, in our actions. That's what this is all about. Always has been, always will be. It's all about that. We must embody what and who we truly are on all levels. And if we do, it's game over for all these games. Here's the thing. It has never been successfully done before in this way. Always, always, always. Huge cataclysms, resets. This has always happened. What if we dream here? Let's dream with me, folks. What if this time around we can achieve the transformation without annihilation? What if we can make it through this reset in such an empowered, strong, human-centric way that we don't need to go through the entire shit again? That our descendants will not have to do it all over again. If not now, in the age of truth, I don't know when. This is what we're here for. Because, my friends, and I mean this, not just a slogan, it truly is. Let me show you this. It is. It's time to be free, my friends. This is why I wrote this song. I'm gonna play it for you tomorrow here on the show. That's why I wrote the song. That's why Christine created the shirt. It's a limited edition, so if you want it, please, and thank you for your support, but links in the description. It is that time. You know, what I'm so, and I think if I say proud of, it's probably not the right expression, but I feel pride in this because we're in it together. There, through all the times of my own activism for most people, and it is activism. I mean, maybe the word is usually used in other contexts, but this is activism, right? So 99% of the activists, if for them it was a side thing, it was something they did on the weekends, they went to protest or whatever, but then they had their regular life, and their regular life contributed to the problem, even though they didn't want it to, because they needed to make a living and blah, blah, blah. More and more people are living in a new way on almost all of their levels. And I'm not judging anyone if, you know, you have to make a living and you do not, it's not judgment at all. I'm just very proud of how many people are actually dedicating their intention, their energy, and their life to creating a new way of life for themselves, their families, and ultimately for everyone. How many people have dedicated their life to truth, to learning, discovering, to becoming free and sovereign? It's beautiful. And while we discover all of these atrocities, we should never forget that it is truly a new age already. Not the new age. It is a new age. It is a new time. It is a new way of life. And more people are embodying this every single day. I'm inspired because people reach out to us from all corners of the world and they tell us about the amazing things that they're doing and how they're living and how they're impacting others. And it's their life. It's not a hobby any longer. It's not something they do on the side. It becomes their life. And they're able to support themselves and to feed their families and to have joy and inspiration and be impactful. This is something that we collectively created. And I want to, last but not least, talk about the impact of this incredible, fast paced information age on our consciousness. Because there is something happening now every day that I don't think it's happened in this form before, or at least not for a very long time. We have access and are passively consuming so much information now every day. And it is almost impossible for our consciousness to truly filter and analyze and come to conclusions because of the sheer magnitude of the information. And it's coming from artificial sources. But this temporary overload, it won't be always an overload. This temporary overload is also an incredible sign of what we have created. What do I mean by that? I call this the age of truth, or the manifestation of truth, because our intentions, yours, mine, and those of millions of others, have now been for years and decades, we want the truth. I don't care what it costs. I don't care how comforting it might be. We want the truth. And we have fed the field with that intention for so long. The field is now in a feedback loop, pushing out the truth through all means possible. So if you care to look, it is all around us. The field is now on our side because we have impacted it with our strong intentions, because those were the strongest and are the strongest intentions. A human being connected to spirit that wants the truth, there is no stronger connection. That is the highest form of intention that could possibly exist. It is stronger than wanting joy. It is stronger than wanting even love. It is stronger than desiring any other thing in this life. Desiring truth is the strongest intention that we could have. And that's how we have infused the field and what we have infused it with. And that's what the field is projecting back at us. There's no way around it. But what I encourage you to do is take breathers, give yourself space and time, give yourself permission to walk with something, think about things, really have creative thought, and use all your faculties to analyze and to transmute this information that you're receiving from all various sources, so it can become beneficial to you and all of us. And this is something that requires discipline, because you need to go into quiet spaces, nature, turn the screens off, breathe, meditate, breath work, introspection, prayer, whatever you call it. But this is what we now need, so we can be as efficient and effective as possible with all the truth that we're discovering, and we can turn it into solutions. Otherwise, it's useless. That's what it's for. All right, my friends. Thank you again. Thank you for all the orders of this beautiful shirt. Time to be free. Thank you for or hats, my friend. By the way, I got to tell you the story. Okay, yesterday we were getting gas. I'd never been at that gas station, and I was wearing this shirt and I was wearing this hat, by the way. And yes, we washed it. And I was at the gas station. I come in, and the cashier, the guy, was funny. He asked the guy in front of me, "Do you want a bag, or do you want to save the planet?" And the guy said, "I'm good." And he said, "You're good on the bag or good on saving the planet?" And we all laughed. And then it was my turn. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, time to be free." I love that, brother. And I think, and that's what he said. Never met me, never talked. He just looked at this. He said, "Man, I think we'll be surprised how many people are ready to be free, how many people are willing to be free, how many people will join us in being free," right? And he just fist pumps me and says, "I got your six, brother." And I just thought, wow, it's not just what the shirt says, apparently. It's also the the vibration, right? Because because this is a shirt that was created from a song that really came from spirit through me. So, and then Christine created it from that spirit. So this is the vibration that's being sent out. So that was, I think, the first conversation starter I had with this shirt, and I love how it unfolded, and just an honest, beautiful human to human connection in an instant. I was just wanted to share the story with you guys. So yeah, thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for always being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.